Welcome to Drinking Bros, presented by GhostBed.com.
What is up? Welcome back to Drinkin' Bros. I am, again, your fill-in host for the day, Rob Fox. Ross is taking his baby girl home.
Yeah, he's on paternity leave like Buttigieg was for 2 months.
Right. Which he was, railing against, and then, we're like, hey, Ross, are you coming in today? And he's like, how dare you?
Yeah, I mean, the presumption that he's asking us all to believe is that he's doing something. And we all know with absolute certainty that that is not true.
I'm just happy Jesse shit that baby out. Now I got my cigarette smoking buddy back.
The baby?
Jesse. But if the baby...
Can you smoke while you're lactating? Does that affect the milk?
I think they frown on it, but...
How long do I have till I can give her a cigarette again?
I just give her one.
I'd give her one now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe a blindfold as well. and a gun with one bullet in it.
Jesse's my late night studio cigarette
She
buddy.
rips heaters with you out there?
Yeah, she'll come out and have a smoke with me every once in a while.
We are also joined, by the way, me and Dan Holloway are joined by Jack Mandeville.
Marhaba.
How's it going?
Oh, good, man. I'm not in full form today.
No?
Nah.
Why not? You were the first one here. He literally beat me to the office.
Well, to quote Richard Gere in An Officer and a Gentleman, I've got nowhere else to go. What am I going to do? Where am I going to go?
Shouldn't it be raining when you're saying that?
Yeah, and just some guy yelling at me. Let me know how worthless I am. But that's what I got you guys for.
Yeah.
I think you're worth a lot, personally.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with my self-esteem like that.
Just as long as your dog doesn't shit in the studio again, because we won't clean it for months.
I'm pretty sure that was you that shit in the studio.
It was neither of us. I'm just going to take it at this point. I'm not going to fight it anymore.
No, it actually wasn't Jack's dog. It was the dog of the tattoo artist that did Lopez's tattoo.
Oh, Will?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for advocating for me, Dan. I really needed that. You have no idea.
It's been a tough day.
The Midwestern guilt is real.
I know my dog. That wasn't his turd. I looked at that thing over and over again like the goddamn Zapruder tape film.
Back
I'm
into
like,
the left.
that is not my dog's shit.
It's not even a Zapruder
He's coming
tape.
in here with like 4 different Polaroids. Here's the shits he's taken over the last couple of days. They wouldn't even look like this.
This is just the
He's on
Amber
a
Heard
specific
Johnny Depp
diet.
case. Really, it's just like, is that whose dog's shit is
It's
that?
the
Is
Drinkin'
that-
Bros version
It's
of that.
Always Sunny did this.
Yeah,
Like Who Pooped the Bed was the name of the episode.
and poop is funny.
Yeah, poop is funny.
That was the
It's always
only
funny.
takeaway from that whole episode. And it was fucking fantastic.
I agree with that. As long as it's not too much, because then you'll get meningitis.
Is that how that works?
From poop?
Yeah, you don't remember Train Spotting? That's how the guy got meningitis from the cat shit. It was Kevin McKidd got meningitis and died.
Lucius Varenus got meningitis from cat shit.
Yeah, that's not a very first spear centurion.
No.
Lucius Varenus. Yeah,
No.
not a very epic way to die.
No, that's
Loser.
pretty. That's pretty.
Shit, he
trash.
didn't die very epically in the real fucking or in that movie either. in Rome.
Allegedly, he wasn't supposed to die in that. And they were going to, it was a cliffhanger for the 3rd season, and then they just canceled Rome for no goddamn good reason.
Yeah, they were just getting close to the Pax Romana, which maybe that's not as interesting. I don't know.
I guess. I mean, they had done the Battle of Actium.
Lepidus was dead, and then Mark Antony was dead,
Yeah.
so it was like Pax Romana time. I
Yeah,
don't know.
it was just Augustus doing fun shit.
I want him to do Rome like all the way through the 4th century, so we get to see Caligula,
Oh, yeah, all the real degenerates.
but with like
Yeah.
a super professional cast and all that. That would be really fun.
Which emperor was like, I just want to see like some crab person emperor, like fucking prostitutes who just obviously don't want to be
Who do you
there.
cast as Caligula? Like, who is arguably
Joaquin Phoenix, but he already played.
He already played a fucked up one.
Commodus.
Yeah.
Commodus was a piece of shit too.
Yeah, Caligula just looks like Joffrey.
Yeah.
Like this is just like
He
a
was
little-
young, that's
just
true,
Like a,
so-
just like a
Actually, the guy who
spoiled
played
boy.
Joffrey would be a perfect Caligula.
Yeah.
I mean, I would imagine Joffrey was loosely based off of Caligula.
Probably.
He does kind of look like him.
Yeah, this is just like a little kind of
He
bitch
was
boy.
His real name, Gaius Julius Caesar, just like his great grandfather.
Yeah.
I guess great grandfather. He
Or maybe-
was 28 when he died, and he assumed the throne when he was 24. So yeah, that kid's probably about the right age.
Yeah.
He had a good 4 years of just being the most. That's impressive if you have 4 years to cement your reputation as the craziest leader in Roman history.
Yeah.
I just maybe actually a show that would be good is like instead of following the emperors, you just follow the Praetorian Guard, and they're like, we got to kill this guy again. All right, get him in the bathtub.
Yeah.
Just fuck, dude.
Well, you know what the really interesting thing is? How long was Julius Caesar emperor? Or not
he was
emperor, but
dictator?
Dictator,
Like 4 years?
4 years. So it took them the same amount of time to kill him for bringing plebs to the Senate as it did for them to kill the dude, assassinate the dude who was literally chopping people to pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the bar had been lowered,
And
I guess.
fucking anything with a pulse.
Jesus Christ.
Does that include non-human pulse-having creatures?
He was in a long-term relationship with his sister.
Cool.
Yeah, but who wasn't back then?
Yeah.
Most people. Yeah,
But
right.
that was more of a royal thing, though. The commoners didn't inbreed at the same level that royals did.
It was a real Targaryen kind of situation back then.
Yeah, they weren't even doing the "you're marrying your first cousin" thing. They were going right for siblings.
Which, look, they didn't have genetic information back then. They took a swing and they missed.
Yeah.
Right?
can't-
It was either...
They got Caligula out of it. That fucking nut job.
I think it went all right.
But no, you guys know who Charles II of Spain was.
Oh, yeah. There's actually, if you could find
You
a
gotta
picture
see
of him.
this.
Like
And
the
they
painting
were
of him.
probably being polite.
Yeah.
with him.
This was a good painting.
Yeah, they did. Charles II was the impetus for a character on 30 Rock played by Paul Rubens one time.
Yes,
Remember that?
yeah, with
What
the
was his
tiny
name?
hands.
He was
Yeah.
the German, or no, the
It was
Prussian.
Habsburg.
Prussian,
Yeah.
yeah.
But Habsburg was in Spain, too.
Was it Spain? I thought they were like a
It was
former
Austria-Hungarian,
Prussian.
Spain.
Yeah,
they're
they were all
the
over the place. Well, there's nothing more pathetic to me
Yeah,
than
this is the sexiest king of all time.
Yeah, Charles II of Spain.
boy.
And they were being gentle with him. They say that he was more inbred than if two siblings had had sex. Like there's literally a step of brother and sister baby making. Like he was more inbred than a brother and
Well,
sister.
wasn't it
baby.
It's
like-
almost like he was.
Was it incestion? It was like two
Yeah.
incest kids,
Dude.
then made another incest kid.
It's basically the same way you create a Boston Terrier. That's how they made that dude.
That's how they made royals.
Look at his
That's how they
fucking
made
face, man.
Habsburgs
Jesus.
and bourbons.
His
and all
face
them.
looks like a fucking skateboard.
That is a pig in a human suit
Like
right
it
there.
looks like he was baptized with a shovel. Like he just.
As my buddy Mike Trzaski from frickin' Norton, Massachusetts used to always say, dude, hey kid, you look like a bag of smashed assholes, kid.
The face reminds me of Squidward from SpongeBob when he gets handsome.
Yeah, the handsome Squidward meme. That's actually pretty fucking accurate.
Have you ever seen these stories? There's not I think the most pathetic thing, and I could go on a whole rant about how I hate the concept of royalty, but I hate that it still exists. But there's nothing. You know what's even more pathetic than the Windsors and active royal families is those families that have long fucking been out of power. There's still Romanovs and there's still descendants of French and German royalty, and they still have weird pissing matches where none of it matters, but they still hold on to these titles that absolutely don't fucking matter at all.
Harun Osman would be the Sultan of the Ottoman Empire.
Yeah,
Where
but who gives a
he's still
shit, buddy?
fucking guy. Yeah, it's still
Yeah,
there.
it's been 100 years, man. Like, it doesn't matter who you are
I
anymore.
mean, people steal way less valor from their ancestors than that, right? Like, at least they were royal.
That's
Like,
true.
Some people are like, yeah, like my grandpa was in World War II. It's like, what do you do? Like,
What
it's like
beach did
some
you
world-
storm?
Right.
I work at Tires Plus. Great.
Agrippina the Elder is the mother of Caligula and the grandmother of Nero. Like, damn, bitch, you fucked us up. That's
Yeah.
like whoever George W. Bush's grandma was, I guess. I don't know. Like,
George, I don't know.
She gave us two.
The
Prescott.
Prescott? Yeah, the Prescott.
whoever Prescott's
that
wife
Prescott
was.
bitch.
Yeah.
Now he's Jeb's son Prescott is running for office here for Attorney General. Have you seen these?
Oh, yeah. He's been like the something commissioner for
He
a
was
while, though,
railroad
right?
commissioner.
Yeah,
Which is a very important position
Yeah,
in the
people
state of
don't. It
Texas.
sounds stupid, but it handles all the oil shit in Texas.
Yeah, that's a powerful position.
He's
in the
been
state.
trying to run for office though for like 12 years and has just gotten his ass handed to him.
You think people are burnt out with the
Yeah.
Bushes? Yeah.
Yeah, because they suck.
Yeah.
Like George W. Bush literally had a war criminal Freudian slip the other day.
Yeah. Oh, wait. So have you talked about that on the
Yeah.
show yet? Okay.
It was pathetic.
Yeah.
The way he's like, I I guess I am a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And everybody laughs. Like,
No,
cool, man.
I don't try to get sensitive about shit. I'm like, that's not funny, y'all. Like, there are a lot of death and destruction came out of some terrible decision making from him.
Everyone was
are you
like,
gonna do?
George. Oh, that George.
As we're approaching Memorial Day, you want me to start talking about my dead friends? Okay, you want me to take the show that direction?
Do you think that you remember the fucking 30 Rock storyline where they wanted Tracy to keep playing Governor Dunstan because it made people like him?
Yeah.
I kind of think the Will Ferrell George W. Bush had that effect on George W. Bush.
He's like, oh, he's adorable. He's dumb, and he's in charge of everything.
And I think him hanging out with Ellen did some more to rehabilitate his image until everybody found out she's a cunt as well.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, oh, everybody that's rich or powerful is just a giant piece of shit.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this, objectively, like he was a piece of shit as a president. Like he was a bad president. He's a very likable guy too at the same time, which is
dude who should have just owned the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, he at best been governor.
Yeah,
probably should have stopped there.
Yeah,
but the thing is, when you see him speak, he actually, like the other day, was kind of the exception to the rule, but. He is a very likable guy. He's a great storyteller. I can't think of any living president that can make a room laugh like he can.
His nickname in college was Gin and Tonic. Like this guy has a lot of friends for a good reason because he's like a personable guy.
Yeah,
you just don't.
He just doesn't
you just
do
don't
blow
hand the
anymore.
nuclear football to him.
Yeah.
No, I mean
we had Dick Cheney though to keep him in line. So.
right. There was an adult in the room, as they say.
Boy, I mean He's been allowed to live to 75.
With a bad ticker for what, 40 years
No,
now?
I'm talking about Bush.
Oh,
No,
Bush.
Cheney
Cheney's
doesn't have
older.
an age. I mean, I guess whatever age the metal in him is his age. But, how do you date
He's the
that?
closest we've ever had to Darth Vader running the country.
Probably accurate.
Yeah.
But Cheney's like 90 or something.
He's 81.
81, and he just fucking fly fishes. That's his whole life
He has
now.
looked way more haggard than George Bush forever.
Yeah, I mean, he was just like a fat guy when he was vice president, pretty much, right?
But he's kind of looked the same since he was working for 41. If you look at the old 41 pictures, he was just bald, chubby, gray.
Yeah, but that's what you
When
looked
he was
like.
a sec def, you mean?
Yeah.
Before, yeah.
That's what you looked like once you were 35. Like, you know how you make fun of Brian Stelter all the time for looking the way he does? That's actually what a human man should look like at his age. It's just that the rest of humanity has gotten past that.
Right.
And he just looks like an old school 35-year-old.
Right. We start shaving our heads.
Yeah, but he didn't do any work to earn that look. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because back
yeah.
in the day, he would have been like a factory worker who's been ground into paste.
Yeah.
And Brian Stelter, I guarantee you, there aren't any calluses on his hands.
No,
there might be some on his asshole.
No,
definitely
like
not on his
people
hands.
in his profession traditionally have a full head of hair and are relatively good-looking dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no soft hands. And speaking as the softest hands you've ever met, no soft hands should look like that at that age.
No, I feel like you should have to earn that look.
Yeah.
But he looks like fucking Humpty Dumpty, so
Yeah.
what are you going to do?
I mean, yeah, he looks like he's been, I don't know, like removing asbestos from a school with his mouth. You know what I mean? Like that, he's aged so poorly for so little time on Earth. It's impressive.
Yeah.
And in that way,
Definitely.
I salute him.
Yeah. He's no Anderson Cooper. That's
No,
for sure. Yeah.
no.
Well, Anderson Cooper's at Vanderbilt. He's been drinking baby blood since he was a fucking
he was bred to
baby
look
himself.
that way.
The funniest interview, not the funniest is John Rocker, but one of the funniest moments I've ever seen.
The racist John Rocker interview?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, I talked to him before on our baseball show, but like, how roid raged out do you have to be to say to a reporter, to a person you know for certain is writing everything down, I guarantee you this is a Japanese woman like driving in front of me and just saying all kinds of wild shit. Like, not that he's a good person off steroids, he's probably not that great or whatever, but like the amount of just like rage that was put into your brain by whatever you were putting into your body.
Yeah. What are the chances John Rocker was at the riots on January 6th, right? I mean, pretty high.
If there's any
guess.
former major league player that would be there, it'd be him and Kurt Schilling.
Or, maybe Schilling. Maybe Sammy Sosa just because he's mad about his skin turning white and he's got to get revenge on somebody.
Is he mad about it?
I think he's probably.
Yeah.
I don't think he likes the way it turned out. the idea of it, he was into it, but the way it turned out.
He never had like the vitiligo or anything like
Vitiligo?
that.
No,
Vitiligo.
I don't think so. He said he did, and he took some treatment for it, and that happened. I'm like, that's like, I don't think that's how that works.
He was also Sammy Sosa, like John Rocker. People don't like say this as much about Sosa because he was way more famous and way more likable until caught cheating.
Yeah.
But he's also kind of crazy.
A little bit crazy, yeah.
Like he's kind of a
He's
crazy.
not Jose Canseco level, but he's up in that.
I think Canseco's just stupid.
Not as crazy as George W. Bush was for trading him.
Yeah.
From the Rangers to the White Sox.
Thanks a lot, Bush. Once again,
It was the White Sox
Bush.
to the Rangers first, right? Or Rangers to the White Sox, and then White Sox.
I think it was Rangers, White Sox, Cubs. I don't remember off the top of my head. But what I was going to say, one of the funniest interview moments ever is
that's right.
Anderson Cooper of Vanderbilt laughing in the face of the Bitcoin pizza guy who sold like a ton of Bitcoin when it wasn't worth very much to get like 2 pizzas, and then told Anderson Cooper that it was worth like $80 million. And Mr. Immortal Generational Wealth is just like, you idiot.
Well, the they don't really have anything left, from what I understand. Their wealth is pretty much gone.
Is it just too spread out, too dissipated amongst the descendants?
Yeah, I think his mother, Gloria, was the last one that had her hand on any money, but he probably is not getting anything out of that.
Anderson got that generation.
They're worth
the name helps.
They're worth about $2.5 billion now, which is not that much considering what.
There's a ton of them.
Like if you took their
They were
worth,
probably worth $1 trillion at one point.
If you took their worth in the early 20th century and then regulated for inflation, it would probably be like in the hundreds of billions. You would have to imagine, right?
Yeah.
Mostly because of all the land holdings and stuff.
In fact, Dan, didn't we talk about the Vanderbilts the other day?
Yeah.
On softcore history, because
With
the Vanderbilts
William Walker. Yeah.
like low key prevented Nicaragua from becoming a state because some other American conquered it, and but he kicked the Vanderbilts railroad out of there, and the Vanderbilts got their own army and went and paid some other army to.
That's
murder
how it
this
was
dude.
back in the day.
Yeah.
Like the Pinkerton army was they laid the groundwork for the Secret Service, for the FBI, for just regular police in America. None of those things existed before that.
Yeah, if you can't beat them, just incorporate them.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, they were paying. They started getting paid to ride on trains with shipments of gold, mostly. And anybody that came near the train, they would just murder them.
They're like those.
sounds like a
They're
joke
like
job.
the Boba Fett characters, the ones that are running.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if
know
I
you're
haven't
talking
seen
the Book of Boba Fett.
No, who's in it?
I don't know, the dude who played Jango Fett in fucking
Oh, he's cool. Yeah.
yeah, who in Clones.
think
There's
he's a
some
New
good
Zealand
continuity
actor.
there
Yeah.
actually. And
there's a couple of solid names in that, from what I recall.
there's other people. I forget. Honestly, 3 of the episodes are just the fucking Mandalorian.
Yeah, I got a little confused. I'm like, did I accidentally
What's
click
happening?
on the Mandalorian?
They have fake Luke Skywalker in it. They
Yep.
just have full CGI Luke
Rosario
Skywalker.
Dawson's in it.
Yeah, Rosario Dawson is
Yeah.
as that one chick from the cartoons whose
Yeah.
name I always forget. She's cool though, but I don't remember her name.
She was one of the few surviving Jedi.
Yeah. We have an interesting title for today's episode. It's based on a conversation we were having off camera right before it started, and that is, what if the Founding Fathers had Twitter?
Oh yeah.
And how would each of them be?
Can I preface it with why we got into that discussion?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not a political person. I generally do everything I can to game my feed to where I'm not seeing political stuff.
Mm-hmm. You let your bombs at the abortion clinics do the talking.
Yeah. I'm low key, so when I do,
Eric Rudolph style.
yeah.
Yeah.
They'll never suspect it was me when I do like political terrorism. But there's one person that there's out of all the assholes that are in Congress, there's one person, for whatever reason, I keep seeing his bullshit whether I want to or not. It's that Madison Cawthorn guy.
Well, you're
he's
not going to
in
see it
Congress.
anymore.
Yeah. He's not in Congress anymore. Well, for long.
But he was one of those basic tweeters. Like, he would just say things with no context. He has a basic understanding of history. But one tweet he said one time, which is so fucking basic and dumb: if the Founding Fathers were around today, they'd be disgusted with this place, which is not fucking true at all. Like I said, Washington would be in heaven just with modern dental care. Like,
he wouldn't
Thomas Jefferson could openly date black women. They'd all fucking love modern America.
Washington would be like, finally, I can take these slave teeth out.
Yeah, he wouldn't have to use horse and slave teeth anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he still would, but you never know if
he wouldn't also have a monopoly on the whiskey industry, but, capitalism.
Yeah. Hey, can you find the picture of Somebody posted a picture recently of Washington's teeth.
Is that in the museum or whatever?
Yeah,
Nightmare shit.
It's like a metal hinge, like those fake chattering teeth on a thing, but with like what's very clearly human teeth.
Yeah.
Bolted in. I mean, it's fucked up.
Fucking horrifying.
The idea that these guys just did some noble, bigger than themselves type of thing and created this fucking utopia that they lived that they ever lived in a political utopia is absolutely batshit fucking wrong. Like, again, Jefferson and Hamilton used to have open screaming matches in front of Washington.
Yeah, they hated each other.
Jefferson and Adams didn't talk to each other for over 20 years.
Well, when Adams was president and Jefferson was vice president, Jefferson left and went back to Monticello and stayed there for the entirety of the Adams
did
administration.
nothing to fucking help. Yeah,
like he literally sat out 4 years.
Yeah, and but in that time was like running libel campaigns against Adams and like. Alexander Hamilton was one of the biggest pieces of shit out of them all.
He's certainly the biggest piece of shit out of all the founding fathers by a pretty wide margin. Yeah, look at this. That's fucking nightmare.
That's
fuel,
our first
man.
president's fucking mouth.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Do you know they have Napoleon's dick?
I didn't know that, but I'm glad to hear it.
They have Napoleon's dick.
I imagine it wasn't very big. He was only 5'6".
Yeah, it wasn't big. And back then, I'm sure dick sizes were smaller on average.
Why would they be smaller on average?
Because they were just smaller dudes.
People were smaller.
Different diets.
If you're not getting the same amount, you're not getting today's people. We have a lot of protein.
What do you got to eat? For how long and in what quantities to get a bigger dick?
You know, it might actually be the type of thing where it's all decided genetically, and then the nurture part is in like the first year of life.
You better.
Right?
What are you feeding your kid to make sure he's got a hog on him?
Cum.
Natural hormone. That's natural.
It's not good.
No.
Yeah. So anyway,
I regret
the
that,
goddamn. Hey man, I know a guy at the registry. He can knock your name off of it for a fee.
Sweet.
Yeah, but if our founding fathers had access to Twitter today, if you study their lives at all, you know exactly what their behavior.
Hamilton would have just been Trump.
Yeah,
like he would be tweeting fucking crazy shit every 15 minutes.
Would he have been Trump or would he have been more AOC on Twitter?
I mean, so
he'd be as petty as Trump.
As petty as Trump and as voluminous as Trump. But the content itself, I don't know. It's hard to say.
It would be more articulate than Trump's, but like maybe even bitchier.
But everybody was more articulate than Trump back then. Everybody was more articulate than anybody.
All 44 of them before him were all more articulate than him.
But like if you read a letter,
I don't know that George W. Bush was more articulate.
Oh yeah, that's true. All that shit talking we do, we should pin those two against each other. Yeah.
They should. What about a spelling bee? It's Trump versus Bush and a spelling bee.
Two rich kids, that never really
had.
He
tossed Biden in there too, just to see if he.
No, but he doesn't know where he is.
His is more dementia based. Not. I mean, if you would have gotten Biden maybe 10 years ago, he could have hung in there.
Yeah, probably would have said more racist shit. But you know. Whatever. What are you gonna do? What's the origin of that word? And somebody is like, "Oh, it's African." Like, "Oh, we don't do that here." Sorry.
You brought up a good point that Franklin, or like you can see people's likes. If you looked at Franklin's likes, he'd be thirst liking chicks like crazy.
He's Jefferson would be huge on Black Twitter, right?
Oh yeah.
He'd just be liking big butts all the time. Like,
Franklin
he
was Bill Clinton before Bill Clinton.
Yes, that's a good.
Franklin would just follow fucking like porn bots.
Yeah, he's like Franklin's having like long conversations with porn bots.
Oh, dude, DM sliding on anything with a fucking.
Hey, sexy.
Yeah,
he's in Helen Mirren's DMs every day. Although she's Russian, not French. I don't know if that would play a role. Are there any older French? I mean, Marion Cotillard's still kind of young, so
looks pretty. I mean, I think Franklin was pretty equal opportunity from like 18 to 90.
Yeah.
So it's really who's he not sliding into?
That guy loved pussy.
Franklin is like the Russell Westbrook of founding fathers in terms of getting laid. Like it's all volume.
I wonder who's Adams though. Like he's one of the most crotchety human beings in the history of human beings.
Oh yeah.
So I can't.
Pretty brilliant guy, hard worker, but
super smart.
Was never satisfied.
No, and he held,
had an ego.
He held himself and everyone around him to an impossible standard all the time.
Yeah. Well, his other than
Like he basically
John
forced his kid to kill himself.
Yeah, and even John
Charles, I
Quincy.
think.
John Quincy
Yes.
carried it the best, and he became president. But John Quincy's kids were fucked up. Like
Yeah, they were super
The
fucked
whole
up,
family
yeah.
lineage died out from alcoholism and suicide.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not just his family lineage, but the dude that married his daughter, like, disappeared too because
It was never good enough for her.
that was never good enough
Yeah.
for John.
Well, in the show, he left to go to the West because all you had to do if you like totally ruined your life on the East Coast was just go to the middle of the country and completely reinvent yourself.
There was no credit.
I'm going to Missouri.
Yeah.
There's no credit score back then. Yeah.
And he came. I remember in the show he came back right after she died of breast cancer, and he's like, "Oh, that's a bummer because I'm rich now. Like I did it. Out with the rubes that don't know any better."
I don't blame him,
Yeah.
to be honest, for hightailing it on that family.
Yeah. Who wants a father-in-law like that? That's going to be
Yeah.
nasty towards
But
you
they
all
were
the
all
time.
super brilliant dudes. As a matter of fact, they created an exceptional system and ethos of government, none of which they particularly participated in themselves, right?
Yeah.
Like, they were total hypocrites, but it was almost, I've been thinking about this a lot lately. It's almost like a scientist that has a theory before you have the right technology to test it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's the ideas were so far ahead of their times. Like all men are created equal, and everyone's like, yeah, but not those ones. And definitely not women either. But they didn't write that down, except for the Missouri Compromise. There wasn't like a lot of formalized racism necessarily, right? Like there were rules.
The Confederate Constitution had quite
Sure,
a bit.
the Confederate
but-
Constitution. I'm talking about the United States of America.
Right.
Right. Like there were unwritten, forced rules about race and gender, but not necessarily formalized law about it. And that's really interesting.
But one of the earliest Supreme Court cases literally stated black people are 3/5 of it.
The Missouri
person.
Compromise.
Yeah. That and then Dred Scott was
Dred
like
Scott,
30
yeah.
years after the Missouri Compromise, and then I was interracial marriage laws. Was that not till after the Civil War? Probably. They probably wouldn't even need to say it in the 1820s, right?
Yeah, I don't think that. I don't think. Well, maybe that's part of it. Like it was just
Right.
an assumption that those are the things.
Yeah.
But
They didn't get rid of the last ones until the late. It was a Supreme Court decision. It was Loving versus Virginia.
yeah, and what was that? 59 or 69?
I think it was like
69? Yeah,
mid-60s,
something like
yeah.
that.
No, there were some still on the books though in the 21st century.
There
technically.
are still, yeah.
Yeah,
It's really
but it's
weird.
just like it's like sodomy laws, where it's like,
You gonna enforce this?
yeah, what are you gonna do?
You gonna
I have a
enforce
hard
this?
time getting my head around it, especially for Jefferson. Jefferson was like an extreme libertarian, and is on record a number of times referring to slavery as an abomination. Yet he was the biggest slave owner
He held on
of
to 'em.
anybody.
Well,
He was having sex with them, which
Yeah.
is whatever.
It's rape.
Was he
yeah,
like
definitely rape,
libertarian, bordering on anarchist, where he's like, the world is so free that I can do whatever I want.
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think of an analog today. Like, what's something that you would change about the way people treat each other and like formalized in the form of a government that you would like to see happen, but you know is impossible right now. So you're not even gonna. You'll say it, but you won't try it actually yourself. I can't think of anything like that.
Literally no idea.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of do as I say, not as I do, motherfuckers out
Sure,
there.
yeah, but I mean that's like the collective cognitive dissonance of the West. You know what I mean? But I'm talking about like systemic shit that's happening right now that you could stop if you that you would stop if you could, but you know it can't be stopped, so you also just participate in it. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's got to be something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know. Shitty public schools, shitty public defender systems. There's probably nothing.
Yeah, but that's like I mean, we're talking about the aristocracy here, not regular folk. The aristocracy sends their kids to private school.
Yeah.
Right? So they don't take part in that.
Thank you for calling me an aristocrat. I appreciate that.
What is something that politicians today themselves deal with and make their children deal with that they could not? But it isn't a rule for everybody. You know what I mean? Like I don't think.
I don't know if this helps, but there's a lot of fucking pro-life motherfuckers out there that have taken a woman to an abortion clinic before.
I I'm not pro-life. I'm kidding. Pro-choice here. I don't care. I'm agnostic.
You're just walking her
It's
to the,
convenient
you're
being a
walking her
male,
to the
yeah.
abortion clinic. You're like, I'm pro having a life. Actually.
Hey, can I do recreational abortion, please?
Well, Brittany and I have talked about it, getting pregnant just to get an abortion so we can have the bond of having killed something together.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like war. It brings people together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll have like a birthday party for the fetus every year.
Did
But
you see
it's-
that tweet the other day from a super pro-choice dude, which was perfect, by the way. He was like, here's how I know that pro-life isn't really a thing, because if people were really pro-life, they'd get sad about having a miscarriage, but I've never been to a miscarriage funeral.
People have those all the time, actually.
And also, people get very sad about miscarriages.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I was like, do you live alone? Like, I mean, like, there's no people around you?
I think
what the fuck are you talking about?
I think that's a good bellwether outside of the rhetoric surrounding abortion laws and stuff. Like, at what point would the average person mourn the loss of a child with a name? That is probably the point where you should not kill that kid.
Right.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's a pretty good measure. Whenever you would have a memorial service for it or something like that, that's probably about the right time.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen at 6 weeks, and it doesn't happen at 15 either, for most people.
No. I would say, like, certainly at 6 weeks, you're almost like, fuck, it didn't take.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, like, I would say 15 to 20 weeks in that window, you start to get pretty
Which is
sad.
funny because that seems to be exactly where everybody's laws are, except for, like, Mississippi and Texas right now.
No, Mississippi's 15.
Mississippi is?
Texas is 6.
Somebody is it Alabama? Not Alabama. Somebody's trying to change theirs to, like, no.
I think that might be Mississippi, and that might be the case that gets Roe overturned.
Well,
It's the Mississippi case that is fucking with Roe right now.
Roe's gonna fucking get overturned because it's bad law and it's
right.
Like, it's not federalism, but there will be federal challenges to any state abortion law, as there should be, because that's the way the federal court system works, right? So it just has to play out the way it's supposed to play out, and then we'll get somewhere. Which is funny because it's all really just a distraction. Conservative people who want abortions are still going to get them.
Yeah.
Right? And liberal people who obviously want abortion to be legal will just find a way to get them anyways.
Right.
So this is the biggest waste of time ever.
Since Prohibition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a total waste of time.
It's
Also,
going to be a
if
Prohibition level headache.
If you want to help, like, kids out and shit like that, I don't understand how letting California go completely bananas with their abortion laws is necessarily help. Like, California gives you something like weird, like 30 weeks or something. And you're just like, I don't know if you really want to open Pandora's box on what certain people want. Like, there's no regulation to it.
I want to do a hidden camera thing where I walk into a CVS and fucking, I walk to the counter with fucking 50 Plan Bs in my hand and just slam it on the counter. Let's check this out. I just want to see how people are going to react.
Just
to
ask,
that.
and then be sure to ask them too. Like, when do these expire?
Yeah.
How long do they work?
How,
You can actually
how
buy-
far along are they going to be? How many do I need to use if they're like 6 months along for it to be effective?
You can actually buy Plan B on Amazon.
Dude, you want to hear a weird thing?
I'm not kidding.
Have you ever had a girlfriend
Yeah.
do this before?
I mean, it takes 72 hours, right? If you use it within 72 hours, you're
72 to 96 hours. yeah.
Okay.
You certainly need to overnight it.
Yeah, Amazon will get it to you.
Well, it's Prime same day, actually.
Oh, perfect. Well, but we're in Austin. We have a fucking warehouse in San Marcos.
Fair enough. Move to a big city. Stop being a bitch.
Don't
Look, if you live in Montana, that's your problem.
Don't come in, chicks, if you live in Butte, Montana. Okay.
I gotta find. Do they sell them in bulk? I don't want to buy one at a time.
Yeah. So there's a like load to.
There's got to be a Costco.
There's a load to distance from urban center ratio that you have to, like, you can only put so many loads in a woman.
Yeah.
For however your distance to an urban center is.
I think that's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
I would like someone to should we just hire like a baseball statistician, like a really good sabermetrics guy?
Bill James.
To come up with all of our like retarded sabermetrics, like just the dumbest shit we want to figure out.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. Yeah. And I think it would actually help some people.
Yeah.
At least it would get the conversation started. That's what people like to say when they say dumb shit, right? I'm just trying to start a conversation.
I'm just asking questions.
Yeah.
Just asking questions, man.
Maybe there is a flying spaghetti monster. Created everything.
You've never not seen one.
Yeah. That's the Bertrand Russell flying tea kettle argument. Bertrand Russell is a famous non-believer writer from the 19th century. And he said, people would say, well, you can't prove God doesn't exist. And he said, you can't prove there isn't an invisible tea kettle orbiting the moon right now, but you also have no proof for it, and there's no reason to believe that dumb shit. It's a pretty good argument, yeah.
Well, hope he's enjoying hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably is.
You're rolling the dice with that thinking, man.
He's definitely in hell. I mean, not for that, though.
One way or the other.
Look, it cost me nothing on my deathbed to frickin' get right with the Lord, and boom.
Are you Catholic?
Pascal's wager.
I'm not anything, but like.
Were you baptized Catholic?
I wasn't I've literally not been exposed to religion at all in my entire life.
As a Catholic, all I have to do is get my last rites and give one last confession. I'm good.
I can do it for you.
What, kill me?
Either way.
Okay.
I was talking about the confession and last rites, but yeah.
All right.
Because you're ordained.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you're not ordained Catholic. I can't get that. I can't get that internet shit.
The last rite. No, I'm not. I went to a fucking seminary, but it's not Catholic.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that matters for them. Like, I can deliver last rites.
To whom?
To anybody, I suppose. I mean, it's so.
Good, because I feel like I'm about to have a heart attack right now.
Like in the military, there's a chaplain.
Right.
They're almost always Catholic, right?
Yeah.
And but
Yeah, because they don't want to get a real job, those Catholics.
well, I mean, it is an odd choice to be a priest and surround yourself with adults, I guess. But no, there are Protestant ones, and they are trained to give last rites to Catholic soldiers that might die. Which there's quite a few Catholic soldiers.
There's
so we're pretty flexible on shit. So like, if you're in a real pinch. Yeah. Like, if you just shot me in the gut and I was bleeding out, you could probably give me last rites.
Well,
like,
you've got time. If you get gut shot, you got time to get to the hospital or get to a priest.
Okay.
You have to choose, though. The hospital is that way, church is that way, so good luck.
I guess I'm probably going to go to the church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, are they expected to do like any types of rites with Muslims and Jews and
Yeah.
Oh
like
man!
you have to,
if I'm a dying soldier, I'm just like hit them all, just in case. Do them all.
Who do you think?
I want to talk to Allah. I want to talk to God. I want to talk to the Jesus God. I want to talk to the Jewish God.
Give me Joey Smith in there.
Yeah. What about Vishnu? I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
Hit me with all. I need every Indian god.
They don't really have a salvation doctrine in Hindu or Buddhism necessarily.
You're just gonna get reincarnated, right? They're just like, dude, toss me into a tiger.
But just in case, if that's what the deal is, hey, tell me about Joseph Smith on my way out.
I think it's
let's try this Mormon thing.
I think it's unconstitutional that there are chaplains in the military. Like, there's you're telling me that there is a paid federal representative of a specific religion. Are you fucking kidding me?
That's a fair... that could be a Supreme Court case right there.
Get the fuck out of here.
Also, they're too good to carry a gun?
Yeah. Like,
everybody, even the medic
we all,
has a gun.
we all believe in Jesus, bro. We've all been murdering these brown people. You can take part in it, too. Let's do this.
Did you remember the fucking rant in, what's the Iraq invasion show? Generation Kill, where what's his name, Eric from True Blood, is like just like this chaplain.
Alexander Skarsgård.
Yeah, he's like explained how the chaplain is even more useless than the journalist.
Yeah.
Let me give a little Swedish joke here. So you know how 1 in 10 Mongolians are said to be direct descendants of?
I thought it was 1 in 10 people.
No, it's 45 million living descendants. But
Okay.
Yeah, most of them are in Mongolia.
Yeah. Okay.
But so Stellan Skarsgård is the patriarch of the Skarsgård family, which they're fucking everywhere.
Yeah, and they're all Swedish Marines too.
Yeah, well, 1 in 10 Swedes are direct descendants of Stellan Skarsgård at this point.
Is that real?
Probably accurate.
That might be true.
He's a baby maker.
I mean, if he keeps doing it and they keep getting more popular in film and keep getting more money and fucking more people, then you would think so. Give him like 200 years.
What's weird is that Alexander's the only hot one.
Well, Bill's a good-looking chap.
Pennywise?
Yeah, he's not bad looking.
But he doesn't always wear that.
There's two other brothers that one of them, Gustav, he's huge in Sweden.
Okay.
And he's takes
the one who was
American
on the show Vikings looks even weirder than Pennywise.
That's one of the other ones, not Bill. And there's a sister too.
Gustav is the one from Vikings.
Okay, yeah.
That guy looks like a lunatic, and he plays a lunatic on the show.
If you see him and like pull up Gustav Skarsgård. He's a normal. He's actually a good-looking dude.
He looks pretty good in real life.
Without all the fucking stupid shit going on. Yeah, I mean, this one he's wearing a fucking like.
I'm telling you, those Skarsgårds they're great fucking actors.
Yeah, he plays a weirdo in Vikings. He's supposed to look like that.
I get it, but like he was pretty, pretty good at it. Is what I'm saying. Like he fucking nailed it.
You're saying he's a good actor.
He nailed it to a point where
Skarsgård.
Yeah, the one in the middle is the only one that's a squishy face. Like his eyes are just not that. Not he looks like Steve Buscemi. Too much.
That's Pennywise.
Yeah,
I know who it is.
I know. Okay, so the one on the left, that's Gustav. He is better looking than Bill.
And Alexander's clearly the better.
Alexander
He looks the most Swedish, that's for sure.
Yeah, Alexander is the type of good looking where it's like, look, it's not even gay.
It's Hollywood.
Yeah,
It's top tier Hollywood good looks.
Yeah.
Gustav got boned with the hair.
Yeah, but that's all right because he's got a Jason Statham.
Yeah,
thing
that's
going on,
immediately what I thought. Was the
like he's got a good shaped head. All he's got to do is throw a fucking hat on or roundhouse somebody, and he'll be fine.
And the Bill and Alexander have been working in the United States so long that there is no accent whatsoever in any of their characters. Like they do.
No,
Flawless.
Alex was just on the last season of Succession. He was good.
Amazing. Yeah.
You can hardly tell anymore.
The dad, he was in Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
And he had that slight Scandinavian accent that.
He kind of always has it. He has it in Pirates too.
Yeah.
And he's got it in the Marvel movies.
Yeah, and Thor and shit.
He's done Ronan. He had a Russian that was a fake Russian accent, but
Chernobyl.
Chernobyl, yeah, but that was another Russian character.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of stuff where he played an American, if anything, recently.
Well, there was a weird thing about Good Will Hunting there was a weird thing about Good Will Hunting is where he just kind of had this accent. They never really addressed where he was from.
He had the same. He just uses his voice because he sounds the same in Good Will Hunting as he does in Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which literally takes place in Sweden.
Well, have you ever seen the actual Swedish version of Girl with Dragon Tattoo?
With Rumi Napace?
Yeah.
No, I have
yeah.
not.
That's good.
It's way better than the American version. Yeah, way better than
the one they did here with fucking James Bond was fucking terrible. Like, have you read the books?
No.
You should read the books. They're really good.
I mean, it's dark for even how
It's
they
super
portrayed
dark,
it on cinema.
Like I don't remember. They didn't do this in the movie. I think they did it in the Swedish movie. But the first book, she gets raped and then rapes the dude with like a spike.
No, they had
dildo
that
to
in the
death.
American movie.
Was that in the American one?
yeah.
I don't remember.
But they
that.
didn't.
I watch
they
it on
didn't-
YouTube all the
They
time.
didn't show. It wasn't as graphic visually as it was in the Swedish version.
Okay. Yeah, she just like you don't see her. You don't. Do you see penetration? Is it full penetration in the Swedish?
Well, you
movie?
see a lot of blood, I think. In the
Okay,
Swedish
because you
one.
just see him reacting in the American movie.
That's not exciting for me.
Oh well, I will have to watch something else on YouTube when I put my kid to sleep.
Yeah, they're not afraid to show boobies either.
Speaking of that part of the world, Ukraine is now, or Russia rather, is now doing. They're at the Iraq surge level of the Ukraine invasion, where they're letting over.
But it's all happening within 60 days.
Yeah, they're letting over 40 people letting them join the military now, as in like, hey, you're not in our top social class, so get on this bus.
Yeah.
You're going to war.
Sorry about what happened to you in Chechnya back in the 90s. We need you back against the Ukrainians this time.
Well, it's only a matter of time before America gets into some stupid shit and tries to send us back somewhere with jokes on them. We're all retarded now.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thanks for those burn pits. I'm not eligible.
As much as I want to, give you guys and all other veterans like credit for being out of shape alcoholics and just like crushing it in that way.
Functioning alcoholic.
There's no way.
Functioning alcoholic.
Yeah, but there's no way any of you drink as much as an average Russian.
No.
I mean, the average American, not even close.
Like people couldn't handle it. The average Russian drinks the same way that Arthur Shelby and Pinky Blinders drank. It's like you show up to work, it's like fucking 10 or 11 a.m. You're like, all right, I need a couple of shots of whiskey to get my day started.
Yeah.
Because it sucks.
Yeah.
Like the more life sucks, the more people.
And then they all get diabetes when they're 42.
Yeah, from drinking.
Yeah, it's
a lot of sugar.
It's
That's
all
all alcohol, and it turns to sugar as soon as it hits your fucking pancreas.
Yeah, it's all drinking and purple soup. Cold purple soup.
I'm not even fucking lying. I'm not trying to add to this conversation at all. I think I'm going through alcohol withdrawals right now. That's why I'm being all fidgety.
Do you
and
need
weird.
a hard AF?
I need something to drink.
Yeah, there's hard AFs everywhere.
Hard AFs over there.
Look, if you need a little hair of the dog, that's fine.
Well, is it hair of the dog at 2:51 p.m. on a
I
Friday?
guess. I mean, I feel if I'm pretty hungover, this is actually the time of day I feel the worst. Like at 10 in the morning or whatever, I'm still pretty like good to go. I'm like, maybe I don't feel so bad.
That's why you got to get ahead of it and start drinking at 11.
I was drinking with Marty Skovlin last night.
He can drink.
He's
Marty and I have blacked out a couple times.
Yeah, his name's Skovlin.
Yeah. Well, that's part of it. The other part of it, he fancies himself like an old school beat writer kind of guy, right?
Yeah.
And it's almost like Gonzo style. You drink until the story comes to you.
Yeah.
Is he here?
He was, yeah. He was in town. Marty's my favorite guy on earth. He truly is. He's everything
guy.
good about the Midwest.
I love the Midwest. I was actually thinking about this morning. I tell people all the time that my parents would not know what to do if you gave them $10 million. Like they would just be like they'd take the whole family on a trip to Hawaii, but we'd still be staying at a fucking Holiday Inn.
They would
go
buy-
to Branson.
Yeah. Well, they would buy a piece of property on Lake Superior somewhere and only go there once a year.
Yeah. That type of thing, and it's just like
They wouldn't even bother renting it out or
No,
Airbnb.
it would be in a trust for their kids.
Yeah.
Like they play it safe, right? And that's the definition of Midwest, right? All the high risk, high reward stuff was out west.
So
Midwest is where dreams go to die.
No, that's 100% a fair. But especially like speaking specifically to the Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota.
It was the climate. They found their same climate. They're like, well, we're not going to keep going.
It's a Scandinavian heavy heritage there.
Yeah.
And there's a thing in Sweden called lagom. And they live by that shit. It means not too much, not too little. They brought that goddamn bullshit over to Minnesota and the Dakotas with them. And Minnesotans, you don't fucking talk too much about that good thing you did. Mm-hmm. But like don't do too much. But don't be a fuck up either. You got to stay right in the middle.
Maybe we should just only have Scandinavians from Minnesota in our government then.
That sounds okay to me.
Yeah.
Like in Missouri and St. Louis, stuff like that, it's a combination of Catholic guilt, German pragmatism, and Irish self-loathing, right?
And alcoholism.
And
from all three groups.
Yeah, exactly. But it just combines into this thing where it's again kind of like not too much, not too little. It's like I don't deserve this, but then you like get a little gluttonous on the wrong things because you just feel so terrible about yourself, and then you feel guilty about that, and you don't give yourself other things. It's just and it just goes into this like it just morphs into this weird thing where you can only have just like a middle amount of things.
Yeah. Basic AF.
Just basic. Yeah, and that includes spice, obviously. Like it's anything like that.
Spice, you mean like from Dune?
That I always talk.
You're talking about in food.
Oh yeah,
I see. Yeah,
basic ass diets. I always talk about like the fact that the only reason Minnesota has any cool points for any reason whatsoever because all the cool people fucking leave and they stay gone. Bob Dylan got the fuck out.
Prince.
Judy Garland got.
Well, Prince lived there.
It's
Yeah.
He's the exception.
He's
Prince,
got that compound.
Prince never truly left Minnesota. Yeah, he had a place in L.A., but he always was a resident of the state of Minnesota. He lived his entire life there, essentially. He had a studio there. He died there. Prince would you'd see him at the Vikings games. Like, he was a home Minneapolis guy to the core. Like, he's the only reason Minnesota could ever have any cool points.
Yeah, but he was a Jehovah's Witness too, and there's a religious cult element to him staying there, right? I don't think it was because he just loved Minnesota.
I mean, he made the sound what it is out there. Like,
sure, yeah.
There was a brief period where there was a thing called Minneapolis funk. It was a thing. All the Morris Day, all those guys, like, he made an actual music scene in Minneapolis be internationally known.
I really like that he just like spent the last part of his life taking pills and riding his bicycle around the compound that he lived on. It's so weird. Like, I don't know. His childhood probably wasn't terrible. Right?
No, it sounds like he came from a loving working class family.
It really just sounds like really, really benevolent mental illness.
Yeah.
You
Like
know
he's
what I
just
mean?
had it with people fucking looking at him all the time, so he's just going to go ride his bike. I say that because it's not like Michael Jackson, who had clearly mentally regressed back to childhood entirely.
Yeah, who was facing like abuse constantly as a child, and it was overworked as a child.
But Prince wasn't. he seemed like he was in control up until the end.
Yeah, he had a normal childhood.
Yeah.
They actually just found footage of him when he was like 10 years old being interviewed by the local news. They found it on accident.
He said, he just looked right into the camera and he said, game. Wowzers.
The Mickey Free, who was part of
Yeah.
that story, I watched an interview with him and he confirmed every detail of that Charlie Murphy story that it was true.
That was one of the most electric days of high school.
That's what happened when I was 16 years old. I remember I was working at a hotel and the guy that I worked with was talking about how he would play pickup games against Prince, and Prince would just smoke him.
Just a fucking
and
killer.
I was like, that kid doesn't make sense. And then sure enough, 4 years later, that sketch comes out. I'm like, holy
Okay,
shit.
do you think that Prince, though, he strikes me, obviously he's a tiny man.
Point
Yeah.
guard.
I was going to say,
If that's what
Steph
you're
Curry.
asking.
He's got to be
Yeah.
a Steph Curry
Yeah.
type, right? Like,
Yeah.
he's just drilling
He's a finesse
shots.
player.
Well, back then it would have been Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, I believe, would have been his guy, right?
From Minneapolis?
Well, he played for the Nuggets. He was the guy that was shooting from 30 feet before Steph Curry was doing it.
Okay.
He-
I don't know
he
him,
had
but I feel
Tourette's
like,
syndrome.
I feel like Van
Mahmoud
Axel.
Abdul-Rauf.
The one that like had a flawless free throw percentage? Yeah, he had Tourette's syndrome.
He also like
Chris Jackson was his given name.
Good for him.
Yeah.
That's a really boring name. I'm
Yeah.
glad he changed it.
Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf is
That's
way
a
more
it's a way better
exciting.
name.
Way better
It
name.
is.
Especially
Unlike
for an
Muhammad
athlete.
Ali, who had two dope names.
Yeah, I feel like he owes something back to the community.
What do you
Right.
mean?
Because he had two cool names. I guess Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did too. Lou Alcindor's a fucking
Is
dope name.
Muhammad? It's the most common name in the world.
Yeah.
Not here, though.
Not here, but like
It's more, yeah.
I don't. Is there any?
I feel like he should have gifted somebody the name Cassius Clay when he gave it up.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
Cassius
and
Clay's
the, and the
that would
same,
have been a pay it forward.
the
type
same
of
thing with Kareem. His name was Lou Alcindor. That's a fucking Alcinder's
cool
a
name.
dope ass name.
Yeah.
It's like Doug Smith or some stupid shit like that. Speaking of stupid names, stupid dumb Isaiah Lee, the guy that tried to fucking stab Dave Chappelle,
Oh yeah.
he's now been charged with attempted murder for trying to stab someone else.
After?
Yeah.
What?
Oh
They
my
let him out and he tried to
I'm
stab someone
sorry.
else?
It's somebody that he stabbed his roommate on December 2nd, 2021 during a fight at a transitional housing apartment.
So this thing with Chappelle probably wasn't as much of what Chappelle was saying as he was just dealing with a clearly mentally ill person.
Probably a little B,
Yeah.
but the weird thing is that George Gascon, who was the district attorney in L.A., chose not to charge this guy for what he did to Chappelle, even though he was in the process of getting charged with attempted murder for stabbing someone else.
We're already establishing that there's kind of a pattern here.
Yeah,
There's
a
some
stabbing pattern.
he likes to stab
Yeah.
with a gun for some
Yeah,
reason.
well, that was weird.
Yeah. Like he's like just wants the trigger. Did you see the type of knife he had or whatever?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was weird. Like he fixed bayonet on a fake pistol. What the fuck is he doing?
Right.
Man? You can just go buy a knife anywhere. They're free. They're almost free.
Yeah.
It's like you can literally go to Academy or Dick's and get this knife.
Or
Well, this is a Benchmade.
Or drive over to Nevada and get yourself an actual pistol.
Yeah, this is a Benchmade, but a knife that looks exactly like this, like one of those little cricket knives. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
$7, dude. I'll give you the $7.
I mean, how much does like a bananas like Rambo knife cost? Even that's probably not that much, right?
I mean, a shitty one that's good enough to stab somebody with is like
Right.
$20 probably, or 30. I don't know, 50.
Probably good to go. There's some big sports news, by the way. Wimbledon is stripped of ranking points for the year by the ATP and WTA over banning Russian and Belarusian players.
Good. That was fucking stupid.
So you won't be able, it won't affect your ranking in either tour if you win Wimbledon or however far you advance in Wimbledon.
That's awesome. I think all these people should boycott Wimbledon for that reason. Like you can't.
What did Wimbledon do wrong? I don't understand. what's
Wimbledon and actually a couple of other courses did it as well, but they banned
the French
Russian.
Open did not.
The French Open did no, but none of the other majors did.
Well, we don't know about the U.S. Open yet.
They're not.
The
gonna
U.S.
do
Open
that.
still could.
They're not going to do that. But they banned any Russian or Belarusian player from playing in the tournament.
Because
these
of
are
the invasion
two.
of Ukraine.
This is one of the 4 majors, and
Wimbledon is the Masters.
yeah, it's the most important tournament of the year.
That's. I can understand saying they can't represent their country, but
Well, they're not though. This is individual players.
I know
This
that's
isn't
what I'm
like-
saying.
Well,
It's like
they still play with the flag next to the name, I guess. But it is not like the Olympics where you. Although in a lot of ways, like Americans don't really view tennis the same way as the rest of the world, especially Europe, does.
Yeah.
Because we have so many famous, dope athletes that we don't really care about one American tennis.
But Russia, it's either tennis or hockey.
Right.
Those are your heroes.
And you also only have like Russia as a country probably has like 15 elite athletes in the world. Like literally, that's it.
They
That's
got
not much.
Ovi. You got Ovi in Washington.
Ovi, you've got Medvedev, who is
Kucherov down in Tampa.
What?
Kucherov down in Tampa.
Yeah.
But if you're the NH, but like the fact that it's the NHL is like
The NHL is not fucking with that, are they?
no, they're not.
No,
there's
fuck
plenty,
no.
There's it's all right. Like
Yeah. It's like Russian, Swedish, Canadian, and that's pretty
God,
much. It's like
you know,
five American dudes.
No,
You don't have
there
to
are a
sit
ton
here
of
and
Americans.
vocally. You don't have to sit here and vocally, condemn Russia.
just don't put a Z on your helmet.
Yeah, but it's like it should be. I think for the most part, everyone's on the same page about what they're doing is wrong. I don't know. There's a part of me that does feel bad for individual athletes who work their asses off their entire lives.
This is just not how you handle the situation. One of the finest moments in the history of athletic competition is Jesse Owen going into Berlin in 1933 and shitting all over Adolf Hitler's
eugenics.
chest.
Yeah.
Oh, one of the greatest pictures of all time, if you can pull it up, people haven't seen it, is Jesse Owens getting the gold. Silver is German, bronze is Japanese.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at the time, Japan was.
They were this was
was-
36, so they
yeah,
were
it
in the
was-
middle of well into invading
Well,
China.
it was their state religion was still Shintoism, which is like Japanese people are born from the sun and everybody else is a cur, mongrel.
They
That's
were
what they believe.
they were white supremacists, except Japanese, essentially.
Japanese supremacists,
Which, by
yeah.
the way, people forget that China's kind of like that now. Like they're Han supremacists. Like,
Really?
oh yeah, oh
Yeah, that's why they have 1,400 active Uyghur concentration camps, bro.
if you're not Han in China,
I know that they've not been kind to ethnic minorities.
Yeah.
I didn't know that there was.
Well, there's like internal ethnic minorities technically, not just like other Asians, but Chinese people that have been there for fucking 2,000
Yeah, like
years.
Hmong and yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. So
It is weird.
I just think that's one of the better. Yeah, show this. Put that up there. This is one of the finest moments in the history of sports. A couple of fucking losers doing their stupid Nazi salute and a fucking black American saluting the American flag after he just whipped all of their asses, right?
Beat
like
the shit out of them.
you take this opportunity away, or you take the opportunity for a Russian athlete to congratulate a Ukrainian athlete or something like that.
Right.
Something that fucking sticks with people forever. You've robbed us of that opportunity by doing this shit. Fuck the Wimbledon bullshit. Like that. There should be some price to pay for
The
that.
Ukrainians won Eurovision too. If anyone pays attention to
which
that.
I can't imagine.
I'm pretty sure. I think
intentional.
Eurovision said before. It
was a gimme.
Yeah.
It was a gimme.
Which
And I don't fuck Ukraine, man. I don't give a shit about Ukraine either. Like
I
they're
do.
a bunch of goddamn. Ukraine is fucking. Their government is fascist as shit.
they were.
I'm tired of hearing about these
Ukrainians,
guys.
which is different.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
bad for the Ukrainian people and the Russian people that have to deal with this stuff, but I'm not really. I don't feel good about sending them $40 billion. Sorry, actually, it's 67 now total.
Yeah, you know how fucking long I could stretch $40 billion if you just gave it to me?
Couple
You would be
months.
dead like probably 200K in.
Oh,
You'd
yeah.
be dead.
Oh yeah.
Because you have simple tastes, but you would do a lot
I'd
of
just be buying more Jim Beam in bulk. I'm not upgrading the liquor selection.
I read some really important news today that pertains to all of us. So you heard about Elon Musk's sexual harassment lawsuit, or not
yeah.
lawsuit, but the sexual harassment news. He paid
Yeah.
off that flight attendant $250,000.
Yeah.
The way the math works out, if Elon Musk has enough money to pay everyone in Austin $250,000 if he shows them his boner, the same way he did to that flight attendant.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Elon, if you're listening, if you want to wave your boner at me,
Yeah.
What are the chances that an autistic man who has severe social anxiety disorder would just whip his cock out on a fucking flight?
you got to remember this is the guy that was fucking Amber Heard and Cara Delevingne at the same time.
That's not the same as showing a stranger your dick.
But there are like pretty serious rumors that him and Amber Heard and Cara were into some other shit too, like more orgy-ish shit.
I'm sure, yeah, but that's all, again, that's people, that's a group of people doing something. It's not a stranger.
I get that.
Autistic people are not comfortable around strangers.
All right.
At all.
Did you ever see Love on the Spectrum?
No.
It's an Australian show, but they have an American version now. Just an update. I love that show.
Love on the Spectrum?
Yeah,
See, I thought it was like weird.
It's about autistic people dating.
Is it like a reality show?
Yeah, but it's really good. No, it's really good. No, you got to give it a chance. Watch one episode.
I actually prefer that to like
It's
the
really
weird
good.
shows like The Good
It's done
Doctor.
perfectly. Sorry.
I would say I prefer that to a show like The Good Doctor, where it's just like, will the autistic person solve the medical riddle this week, and how will he handle being a young?
It's not
autistic
exploitive.
gene?
Why hasn't he been canceled yet? Because he's not actually autistic, right?
I know, right?
Who's that?
That show on it's called The Good Doctor. It's on ABC. I've never watched a second of it.
The kid from August Rush.
Yeah, or I have.
It's a reality show. Or
No.
No.
It's like Doogie Howser
It's Freddie Highmore.
they didn't.
fucking autism.
Is there a controversy because they didn't hire an autistic
No,
actor?
but that's maybe
They got
there
it under
is,
the
I don't know.
wire.
Yeah, they it's what? When did that show start? It started in 2017. Oh, that's pretty close. They're coming up on 100 episodes though. They're going to be in syndication.
Yeah, they're good to go. Actually, syndication, the levels.
Oh yeah, it's down to 88 now. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, they're good to go.
Boom.
8.1 out of 10 rating. 90,000 ratings on that.
I
People
said
seem
earlier
like
that I haven't seen a second of it. I actually made that up. I've seen a couple like random pieces of episodes because my wife was watching it for a while, and it's just awful.
people really like. Well, people like Richard Schiff. Remember him from? He's the bald, bearded dude from West Wing. The guy that was the communications director. In
Yeah,
West Wing.
yeah.
People really like Richard Schiff, and people love fucking hospital shows. You can make a hospital show with anything going on, and people will fucking watch
It's
it.
crazy. Hospitals and police. It's
Yeah.
like those two things.
Well, both of those two environments have organic conflict
Right.
every single day, right? So it's not that much of a stretch. If you do like a family sitcom, man, how much shit can actually happen in a family before they all kill each other?
Deeply mundane.
You know what I mean? I don't believe any of it. Although I don't believe any of these hospital shows either. Knowing what I know about hospital administration, like 3 episodes in to any hospital show, that hospital would have been shut the fuck down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would have been done.
Doctors
dude.
routinely say that the most accurate hospital show ever made is Scrubs.
I'm sure it's more like a locker room where everybody's just talking shit and fucking with each other all the
Right.
time.
And the cases are relatively mundane.
Yeah.
It's not the type of thing where people are fucking in closets and there's a active shooter in the hospital every season.
Yeah, because after 20 years, you just they're still paying us for this. Fuck it, let's just kind of recycle that
Yeah.
thing we did 3 seasons ago.
Bomb guy's back. He put
Yeah.
it in a uterus.
Do you remember when Buster lost his hand
Yeah.
and they found what they
Run
thought was the seal that ate it, but it was a shark and he jumped over it?
Yeah.
No, the shark ate off the seal's fin. So
Yeah,
the
that's
seal
right.
lost a hand too.
Yeah, and then he jumped over the
Oh,
shark.
yeah.
Like the close to that scene was Henry Winkler jumping over the shark,
jumping- yeah.
walking
the
away.
jumping the shark thing.
Yeah, that was. I don't know why I thought of that.
That is one of the fucking smartest shows ever, and I will never, ever, ever, ever fucking forgive Fox.
Fox, yeah, they fucked
I
it
will
up.
because yes, I watched the last 2 seasons they did on Netflix because I love the show so much.
They
but they
okay. Mm-hmm.
ruined the greatest momentum on planet that was going with that show.
Yeah.
That show was fucking brilliant.
Yep. And one of the better casts ever. I mean, Lucille Bluth. What the fuck's her name? She
just passed.
died.
Yeah.
But Jeffrey Tambor,
Jessica something.
Jessica Walters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jessica
yeah.
Walters, Bateman, fucking Arnett, Portia de Rossi, Sarah, whatever the fucking young one's name is.
Yeah.
Maybe she was a good actress.
She's good.
Yeah, she's been in a lot of good stuff.
Those were actually 2 of the best child actors I've ever seen in
Yeah.
my life because they were both like 13 or 14 when that
Michael
show started.
Cera, yeah.
Yeah.
To the point where now I don't like to I like to imagine Michael Cera as 2 different people. Like I
Yeah.
don't like to think of adult Michael for no reason other than he just looks so much different and
he's
weirder.
played that character his entire fucking life.
Yeah, you don't want to spoil the Arrested Development version of it though, where he was trying to constantly hook up with his cousin.
Yeah. I mean, and Superbad, thankfully, he was basically just playing his Arrested Development character for the most part. So that's fine.
Well, he was doing the same thing in Scott, whatever.
Scott
versus
Pilgrim.
Pilgrim, yeah. Although a little bit more competent, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was like as far as sitcoms go, probably the best cast ever.
I used to
and the best writing.
I used to
too.
watch that on DVD when I was in the military, and like no one would watch it with me. And then I just realized everyone in the United States Marine Corps is a fucking moron.
Yeah, well, that's true. I think they took a lot of chances unnecessarily, like having Charlize Theron play a retarded person.
Yeah.
For the main story arc of the third season, that might be why that show
And then
didn't continue.
he never noticed because of her British accent.
Say what you want about like making fun of retarded people or anything like that, but that is a literally brilliant joke because Americans really do
It's making
that.
fun. It's making fun of how
Americans.
Yes, it's making fun of Americans of how he let all this odd behavior slide because of her cute British accent.
Like we literally will just hear a British accent and think they're smarter.
Yeah.
That is an actual thing. I guarantee if you did a study on who Americans thought made the smarter point.
If you took a British person and put him next to someone from the Deep South, that person from the Deep South could be a fucking Yale grad with an IQ of
Yeah, Mark Twain versus a fucking random British person.
Yeah.
You will
his accent.
believe, like they would literally have to be like Cockney or some undistinguishable like Welsh accent for the American to not be like that person's smarter.
We even propagate freaking Scottish accents as if they're something special.
Yeah, and those
Not
are
me.
hill people.
Scottish people are like, to me, as far as Europe goes, Scottish people are the people in the Midwest whose trailers get destroyed by tornadoes every year. It's the same person, just in a different place.
100%. And even the Irish get far too romanticized in the United States.
Oh God, don't. They couldn't even do fucking potatoes right. Why are we doing holidays and we're celebrating a people who can't even fucking grow potatoes?
Actually, fuck that. We always like to say in softcore history, be like, you're an island. Did you run out of fish?
Yeah, I always say the same. I mean, that was one of the dumbest periods in all of human history, I believe.
Yeah.
And by the way, you don't actually, like, it's not like you have a potato seed where you have to dehydrate it and then treat it with stuff and then plant it, like sow the field. You can just cut off the top of the potato that has the eye growing out of it and throw it onto the ground and it will grow. Like, what the fuck are you doing, man?
All right, fuck that. There's no reason to eat food if you're not going to have a side dish, you know?
What? So they didn't eat the main course because they didn't have mashed potatoes?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough.
I don't usually eat
Do you ever hear
potatoes
about
with fish.
people bragging about their accomplishments and they always say, oh, that's because I'm Irish. No, it's whenever people do something fucked up, they're like, that's the Irish for you. I'm Irish. I'm like,
it's basically
you're
like-
just bragging about how much of a fucking loser your family is.
My middle name is literally what can go wrong will go wrong. Murphy. It's Murphy's Law.
I think using that Irish excuse is the same as referring to your fucking horoscope, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a Gemini.
Well, it's like the whole. I don't know what it is. I saw this a lot from people I know in the Midwest where they would romanticize Boston. They have this cool view of Boston from all these movies. Like, when have you ever seen every single movie about Boston is fucking, it's about a corrupt cop, a crackhead, a washed up fighter, or one of the three combinations, or a bank robber. They never make movies about like winners from that era.
There was a great Family Guy joke where it's like, man, it's amazing how many it's amazing how stupid everyone is here for how many good colleges there are around this city.
That's a very easy description of that.
I don't
era.
think a whole lot of people from South here are getting into MIT or Harvard.
No.
Or Charlestown.
That was the whole plot of Good Will Hunting. Like, oh, he's a local boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just like, hey, what's up, kid? My name is Shane O'Brien. All right, there's three things I love doing on this earth. I like talking about how good at baseball I was in high school. I like not paying my child support. And, I like to travel. I go down to the Cape every once in a while. Where the fuck is Mexico? Is that like in Rhodia or some shit?
Boston's all you need to know, like, if you really want to see what the American Irish immigrants were like. Just go to Boston.
Yeah.
And that's... Because those are also the Irish immigrants that tried the least. The ones in New York and Boston. Like, they got off the boat and they're like, we're good.
Yeah, we're staying here.
Yeah.
We're not moving west.
Not a whole lot good to say about the French who chose the one of the only cities on Earth that is
Underwater.
under fucking water.
Yeah.
It is a coastal town below sea level.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, it'll be the
To be
up here.
fair,
They were Arcadian?
no, New Orleans was originally France's Australia.
It's a prison town?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So it was kind of a lawless, like,
Well,
it wasn't even like they needed to stay there. It was just kind of like, we're dropping you here.
Yeah, they couldn't get out.
Like someone abandoning their toddler
Need a
because they
fucking
didn't want it anymore.
Those Arcadians, too, they had already been run out of Canada, and then they went to Louisiana as like a second chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
it
a third
wasn't-
chance, coming from France.
New Orleans was a planned community only in so much as the French planned to drop off their unwanted there.
Yeah.
Well, it worked out
Yeah.
until now. I think New Orleans has very little time left.
Man, have you ever walked?
Really?
Have you ever walked past those fucking? What do you call them?
The deltas?
No. The land dams that hold the Mississippi, but you're below them. Fuck, I can't think of the
Levees.
levees.
Yeah.
Have you ever walked past the levee? When
Yeah.
you go through the bywater, walking. I got married in New Orleans, so I've been around there a bunch. It is legitimately like 40 feet above you. The Mississippi River is 40 feet above you. Like, all it takes is one, and that's why when the Union attacked New Orleans, and like the Battle of New Orleans didn't really take place in New Orleans. It took place like down the river, and then they won that battle against the force that were there and came up, and the city kind of refused to surrender, and the Union was just like, okay, you can surrender, or we'll use our cannons to blow up these levees, and then you won't exist.
yeah.
I feel like that's what we should
We'll
do.
flood you out.
Yeah.
I think we need to knock those levees down, see where the water stops, and then, build property there. Like a fucking normal human being. Why are you trying to fight the ocean, bro? It doesn't ever work. No one's ever defeated the fucking ocean. Not once, except for maybe Aquaman.
I would say the Dutch kind of did. Was it the Dutch or the Netherlands?
It depends on
Or
like,
I'm sorry, the Dutch or Denmark.
Yeah.
That like dammed up a bunch of shit and got new land.
Oh, that was the Netherlands.
Yeah, the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Yeah. They did fight the ocean.
but there's it depends on what timeline you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right? Eventually, that's not going to work anymore.
That's fair.
By the way,
You're in the middle rounds of that fight.
yeah, like it's probably easier to fight other armies than it is to fight the ocean. I would expect. I don't know.
That's why you got to have a good Navy ready for that one.
Yeah. Well, let's get out of here. I'm tired of talking about this shit.
Samesies. Thanks for watching. Ross will be back Monday. Girl Dad on the mic.
Yeah.
Starting again Monday. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, Hard AF Seltzer, all that fun shit. Check it out. See you later, assholes.